Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute.
1 minute timer set.
So, it is week 2, and I am really slow to start today, like really slow. I do not want to do this. I definitely think the break day is making it hard to get going, but mostly because I had a later night last night, and because God's got a sense of humor. I started my period like a day ago, which could be part of why I was having some digestive issues in the first place, because I do sometimes in my cycle. Okay, Google, restart timer.
Timer reset.
However, yeah, really hard to get started today, but I'm doing it. Week 2, day 1, here we go.
Restarted.
Okay, so I don't know if this is good or not, but for my little jabs, I felt like it's such a great break, but at the same time, I want to take it up a little bit this week. So my parents have these little 2-pound weights, and I'm just doing this with those to add a little more to it. And I'm hoping I don't terribly regret it, but just trying to see how can I improve a little bit each week. And this might seem small, and again, it might be the wrong idea, but it feels like the right idea to me. So I'm starting with that. I will say I am really pleased with how I set up these days right now, because having my rest day and then having to restart the week, there's something in my brain that is very glad that my first restart I get to do at home, because going out and being outside for the whole part of it and all that jazz, having to, drive even the short distance just feels a lot harder on the restart day. So, okay, Google, reset timer. Okay, last set, here we go.
Timer reset.
This is another one of those things that people say about exercising that in my experience just doesn't work that way. At least not the way that they make it sound. I don't know. People say that, oh, if you're having period cramps, you should exercise. That'll make it feel better. And look, there might be certain stretches or something that maybe would, but I've dealt with pretty bad cramping at certain points in my cycle for my whole experience with having one. And I actually feel like exercising starts making me cramp up. I only ever experience getting worse cramps when I exercise. I don't know if I'm just weird. Okay, Google. Have you just been waiting for me to come out here for your outside time, huh? Okay, let's try to take the challenge up a notch. I'm gonna do some walking forward and walking backward. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting one today, folks. So I'm getting this while I can. Here's Poppy this morning. This is day 2 of week 2. First day of walking, and man, I would say this is the most things have been against me so far. I'll give more details later, but the first thing you need to know is that when I got here, earlier than I've ever been here before, thinking, well, at least the advantage of that will be there's probably nobody here at 7:35 in the morning. Turns out there's a whole church event thing for a local church set up here, so I don't know when that'll flood with people, but yeah, it could be a very interesting one today. Look at these bold ducks. I mean, like, there's noise, there's people, they're unfazed. Okay, I literally just got back in the car. I don't have time this morning for a debrief right now, but I will be coming back to give one because, oh my word, that was an interesting journey. But I'm finished. I did complete. Wanted to get on and say that. All right. Okay, so I am at home now with a little Groot man sitting behind me. Say hi, Groot. This is my mom's dog. Yes, he sits on the back of the couch like a little cat because he's ridiculous. Anyway, Poppy's here. She's just down there because she likes to be on the cool floor like a reasonable doggo. Anyway, so the story of my walk today, oh, bye Groot, is something. I'm moving too much for him. Sorry, I'm distracted by the dog. So my walking story today, oh my word, it got even more interesting when I came home, which probably sounds weird, but so we had plans today. You'll understand the had in a little bit. Those plans were to go to my brother and sister's house and do some arrangement of hanging out with them most of the day. What I didn't know until about 10 p.m. last night is that we were going to end up being scheduled to go over there and arrive at 9:45. Now, the thing to understand is that my brother and sister live about an hour away from us, depending on the traffic, which is definitely not hard, especially when you are motivated to go see family. But that means that we would need to leave the house at 8:45. So the first problem that presented itself to today's walking activities was that last night I had to think through, okay, that means I will have to get up in order to do my routine, to stick to the routine. And I could have let's stick with one path, Cabrina. In order to stick to the routine, I knew I was going to have to get up early enough to make sure I could get ready to go on my walk, take the walk, come home from the walk, shower, because especially I mean, I was already about time for a shower, but especially with going to see my brother and sister and the baby girl, I want to be clean. But I would need time to do all of that. So I figured I'm going to have to get up at 6:45. Which was the first hurdle because this is the first time that we're talking. I have to get up close to the time that I would have to get up normally for school. Now, for school, I actually have to get up a little bit earlier than that. Like the absolute latest I can go and be on time when I'm going to the school that I was working at is 6:30. And obviously, if I was trying to do all of these activities before that, I'd have to get up even earlier. So we're not talking about how early I would have to get up in order to do these activities before going to the school that I used to work at. However, it's still the second week of summer break, barely. And for my brain, I'm thinking, okay, I have to be up school time to do this, which is an obstacle. But on the plus side, I was thinking, okay, you know what? This does give me a great opportunity to test out what it feels like to get up earlier and, be in sort of a more tired state, potentially sleep deprived, because it was, like I said, I found out about this at 10 p.m. So it was not liable to be a full 8 hours of sleep. So a great opportunity for me to experience what it's like to get up really early in order to get this done and then have other activities throughout the day. But a soft one, because the activities that I'm going to be doing are ones that I am excited about. And there's every opportunity that I might potentially, if I really need to, be able to take a nap during the day. Because for most of the day, there'd be other adults around. And even during the space of the day where it would be just me and the baby, because there was going to be a space in the day where that was the case, I could potentially have a nap while she's napping if I needed to. And so I was like, you know what? This is actually a great opportunity. I'm going to do it. And the motivation of let me test this out in a soft environment is going to help me. That all sounds great. Then we get to actually this morning. I set my alarm for 6:45. I did press the snooze once. So I actually got up rounding it up about, let's say, 6:55. And then, of course, as per usual on a school day, I was struggling real hard to get my brain in active gear. So it took me longer than I wanted to get ready to go for the walk. But I still was ready. I still got everything, prepared. I went and I did it by myself. But then we get to the park, okay? And here I am thinking, okay, 2 benefits that this is going to have. Number one, it might actually be cool enough this early in the morning that I could even wear a jacket, which for me, I am a fall and winter girly. I prefer to wear sweaters and coats and long pants. I get to a point in summer where I am genuinely tired of having this much exposed skin, okay? So I was like, yay, I could probably wear a coat. And in my experience, this is kind of a small park. There's not that many people there, even when I went the latest that I've ever gone. So there's probably going to be 0 people there. I'm going to get the whole park to myself. It'll be super easy. The only thing I'll have to fight Poppy on will be the birds and squirrels and other animals. Then I get to the park. And I immediately see several people putting out those little sandwich boards and a big little tent thing inside the park. There is a church, a local church here. I assume it's local, called, what was it called? The Outpost. And they were doing a park event in this tiny little park. So first I'm thinking, okay, great. This is not going to be good
because I'm not even going to be able to do the walk here. I'm going to have to figure out where else I can go for a walk, or I'm going to have to completely not do it. But I'm like, you know what, Karina, don't be too hasty. Go ask one of the people that is clearly setting up if this is like, I can still do my walk, or if they're like closing the park except for their event. They're just setting up, and no, I can totally go walk my dog. Great. Sort of. Great that I can, but now I have to deal with, okay, if I do this, I'm dealing with walking around while they're doing their setup, which means there's a bunch of people still, including a bunch of like teenagers who I'm sure are very, very sweet, and honestly, like, yay them for volunteering for a summer, early morning summer activity at their church. That's awesome that they are interested in doing that. But also they have very minimal awareness of like, hey, this person, like, she's got a big giant dog, and every time I walk by, she's like pulling the dog in close. And Poppy is extremely friendly. Actually, that's the problem. She would absolutely stop and say hello to literally every stranger. However, we don't have time for that. But she is excited about meeting strangers. So she does pull towards people to some extent. And mostly I just want to make sure, she's a big dog, and sometimes people are scared of dogs. I want to make sure people know I've got her and she's in control, right? But these teenagers see me do this, and they still like make no extra room for me on the path that's very tiny. So we start our walk, and not only are the people everywhere and seemingly multiplying, but the animals are in like full force. I've already, by the time I've posted this, you will have seen the previous video of like the duckies that were just so bold. They were like feet away from Poppy, and she was like, and she was like wanting to go greet them, and they were like, "Come at me, bro." And then even like when I was walking, the first thing, when we first got there, they were like all across the path, and they were just like, we're going to wait till you're right up on us to move. Even they started playing music. Oh, and that was the other thing. It was just a great, wonderful thing. I realized when I arrived at the park that I had forgotten my headphones. So I couldn't listen to anything while I was walking, because when I first realized I had forgotten my headphones, I was like, it's okay. Hopefully this early nobody will be there, and I can just play my music or my, Bible app or whatever podcast I want to listen to. I can just play it unless I see somebody. And then, of course, they're setting up for this event. Obviously, I'm not going to play music and things without headphones when there's a bunch of people there. Not because I have any shame of, like, what I'm listening to or anything, but just because I don't feel like it's really proper etiquette, if that makes sense. So, all of that is to say, it kind of felt like everything was against me today. And yet, I'm extremely happy and proud of myself. Because, and that was the other thing. I realized as soon as I walked out the door and came back in and left my coat here, because it is going to be a hot one today. And I can tell that because, again, I left the house at like 7:35 and it was already warm, like warm enough that I knew I wasn't going to need a coat. Anyway, I'm very proud of myself though, because all of those things put together did not stop me. I did my full 30-minute walk. Poppy got her full exercise. I even managed to stay fairly like positive attitude about it, I feel like. And then I got home to find out, or on my way home, I guess I found out, early this morning we had received a text message that there was a potential issue with us coming today, of some food poisoning. And I was already a little bit nervous, because there's no real way to tell, in my opinion, if you are throwing up because of food poisoning or because you caught some kind of bug. And my niece is in daycare, so and also like my sister works. Also, we went to the zoo the other day, and like germs are everywhere. You don't have to have been right next to somebody who you can confirm was throwing up for it to have been something you caught. But both my sister-in-law and my brother were apparently struggling with what they expect was food poisoning. But my mom had encouraged me that it's almost definitely food poisoning because it seems like it was there and gone. Except then we get a text when my brother woke up for the second time this morning that it definitely was not gone. And I have a lot of fears and anxieties. I would say one of the biggest ones is throwing up. I have struggled my whole life with nausea on the regular, and I've gotten pretty good these days at understanding that it's just nausea and it'll pass and like I'm fine and it's in my head. But I struggle oftentimes when I start to feel nauseous because I get terrified that I am going to throw up. And I have not thrown up in years. But the memories of throwing up are very traumatic in my brain. Not obviously comparative to real trauma, but it affects me in a very big way, I guess, is the best way to put it. And so when I got that text, I was like, I don't think I can go because I'm too terrified. And I would like to believe that if my brother and sister texted me at some point and were like, hey, we're all having a bug, or, you know, the two of us are having a bug and we really need some help taking care of us or something. And that I was the option, that I would say, you know what, I will bring Clorox wipes and Lysol, and I will wear a mask, and I will wear gloves all day, and I will come and help you. And if I get sick, I get sick. I hope and pray I would be that person. But this is not that time. And my parents did still go. So yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to it. So I guess I'm glad that I didn't find out until I was finished with the exercise this morning that was the case, because in addition to all those other things, my thing that was motivating me of like, hey, after this I get to do the best thing ever, which is go hang out with my niece. I'm not going to hang out with my niece today. And I don't get to finish watching Project Hail Mary, which I've been trying to watch for like, it feels like months at this point. I don't know when it came out, but anyway, this is a long video. I'll probably edit some of it out. But all of that is to say, you can see I'm still smiling. Because first of all, sometimes you just gotta be like, okay, God, I'm rolling with it. Thank you for being here with me in it. And thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you that I was able to accomplish it. And also, that is the other reason I'm smiling. Because, you know what? I got up. I did it. Week 2, day 2, complete. And I'm really proud of myself. And that is going to be good enough for me to stay smiling and excited about this journey I'm on for now.
2 sleepy, loungy puppies. They said it's time for second sleep.
Unless, of course, they hear some sort of squirrel outside. And then it's time to attack the door. Isn't it? Hello. I'm feeling a little bit, what's Wednesday Addams' brother? I don't know his name, but I feel like just seeing only this shirt, I feel a little, that character. Anyway, point is, I just wanted to make a short little explanation video for the gap in the days this week. So if you're watching the video up to this point, you will have tracked that we've had day 1 and day 2, and day 3 of this particular week is missing. And so I wanted to give a little bit of a further explanation of that. I feel like there's kind of some details that might help understand it, but you know, it's a vlog of sorts. So, to be clear, it's Friday right now when I'm filming this. So this is a couple days past this happening, but I just wanted to give a little explanation. So basically on Tuesday, I said at the video explanation of like what all happened on Tuesday that was like going wrong with the day, that one of the things was, you know, I've been having these like cramps and issues and stuff like that, and the rest of that day it just got worse. I was fine for about half of the day, and then about halfway through the day I just started having really bad stomach cramps and some digestive issues, and just was not feeling very good at all by the end of the day. And so I was not feeling great heading into Wednesday, and when I went to bed on Tuesday night, I was already feeling like, okay, I need sleep as the number one thing. So I had already made the decision that I was gonna not set an alarm for getting up to exercise, and that I would evaluate in the morning how I felt. And when I got up in the morning on Wednesday, it still was just not feeling right, and I still felt pretty bad, and I ended up feeling pretty bad all day Wednesday. I basically stayed in bed the whole day on Wednesday, and I actually didn't even eat anything. Like, I was feeling so bad that I was like, you know what, I've just got to flush this out of my system. And with that, in the morning when I got up, I was thinking, okay, it's later than usual, but it's an at-home day, you know, do I do something? But it was also hotter than usual on Wednesday, and that can contribute to me feeling really bad. And so I thought about that. One of the things that I said at the very beginning of this journey that I set up right from the start is that something that was going to be different about this journey was having more grace for myself. And so in that, I made the choice to be like, okay, I'm not going to do this. And the reason why, I mean, I could just be like, I chose to skip on Wednesday, but the reason why I decided to put a little video together to explain it is because, again, I'm making these videos partially to see if it will help somebody else who's like me feel like they're seen and they're identifying with it. And so if you're like me, you probably have those voices in your head that are like telling you, if you stop, you're giving up so early. Like, what? It's only week 2, day 3, and you're already gonna give up. You're already gonna lose it. Like, you're never gonna meet your goals. You're never gonna get it. Those voices start coming. And I just felt like it was the right thing for me to do, to kind of beat those voices and be like, no. Again, the setup at the beginning was having grace for myself, and my body was just not feeling good. So I took the day, let it be a total body reset day, and I am really, really proud of myself because I got right back on the saddle on Thursday. I did my walk on Thursday. I did my exercise this morning. It's a process of figuring out what's going on with my body and correcting it, but I am starting to feel better finally. And starting to feel like I am correcting whatever's going on. A little bit more with diet than with exercise, but you know, I'm feeling a lot better, and I think I definitely made the right choice because I slept so much on Wednesday. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little explanation of that and let you know what happened on day 3 before we head into day 4. So, Pugsley. His name is Pugsley. Okay, another day, another walk with the puppy. So it's nice and cool today, which is a plus. It's fairly empty today at the park, which is a plus. So we're gonna look to those positives. And yeah, here we go, beginning our walk. Look how bold these ducks are right now. Like, look how close to her they are letting, look how close to them they are letting her get. Okay, walk done. I am actually feeling pretty darn proud of myself this morning for that. And honestly, that was one of the better ones we have ever done. I was really honestly just thanking God because it is one of the latest walks that we've done because it's kind of cooler today. And I've been struggling a little bit with some
digestion issues, so I was allowing myself to sleep in a little bit because I knew it was supposed to be cooler today. And thankfully, the weatherman was right this time, and it was very cool for the whole walk, and we just took it gently, but we did our full 30 minutes. And yeah, I feel like it went really well. Poppy was still Poppy, but we managed things okay, and hopefully soon here we're gonna get working on her training for walking a little more nicely. Oh, look at that. That is one tired Poppy Lou laying down in the car. All right, let's get this doggo home. Oh man. I know there's someone who will say, oh, it's just coincidence. It's just coincidence. I just put on my fave Christian songs playlist, and it starts with a song called Sparrows, and it's on shuffle mode, by the way. That, or it's playing, it's randomly selected. I didn't choose this song. It's either on shuffle mode, which is what I usually have it on, or it's wherever I left off last time I was doing this and listening to this. And if you don't know that song, look it up, because what started my day today, that's a God moment. Okay, about to get started here. I would normally probably do this while I'm already on my walk, but I think it's a little bit busy this morning, which is my fault. It's later than I usually go, and it's a Saturday, so. But it's nice and cool today. I was just really sleepy this morning for some reason. There's the Poppy Lou. Anyway, also we're apparently going full Addams Family. I decided to put my hair like this because I felt like doing something different than the ponytail before I put this shirt on. But also, if you have watched I started editing the full video last night, so if you have watched the full video up to this point and you've seen my comments that were recorded on Friday that were about Wednesday, ironic. Anyway, if you saw those comments, you would have seen me wearing this shirt. And yes, that was yesterday. This is where the secret comes out. Typically, when I work out, I try to wear clothes that are comfy for workout, but that have been worn the previous day. Because unless I got them really dirty the previous day, even if I sweated in them, I'm going to sweat in these clothes. I'm not going to wear these clothes for the full day, if I'm like going somewhere especially. So I tend to choose clothes that have been pre-worn. So I am wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday just for my workout. Okay. Anyway, happy Saturday. Let's get to it so we can get it done. Okay. Not doing too bad. It's a little busy, but not as bad as I sort of expected it would be. There's Miss Poppy. She's doing all right. And then, yeah, we're on lap 3, I think. About a third of the way there, a little more maybe. Yeah, we're doing good. The duckies came out to play or have a walk. Feels very much like this is like a family of ducks. Okay, we are all finished. And honestly, it was not bad. Oh, my hair has frizzed so much. Not that that's important. Anyway, it wasn't bad. Poppy did okay, even with the little bit of extra crowding. One thing that I really like about this park, which is why I keep coming back to it, is that even though it's small, it does have multiple paths. So between a few people who were like reasonable and thinking about, oh, there's other people, let's, you know, make sure we have various paths, and also some just the way the park is designed, we didn't have too bad of an issue. Obviously, Poppy's still Poppy. We haven't mastered the walking yet or anything, but yeah, it was a pretty good walk.
we got it accomplished and we finished another week. Yay! I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, especially with the way this week has been. I'm really proud of accomplishing week 2. We got our day of rest tomorrow, and then week 3, here we come. Listen to that sound. I love that sound. Glad I finished my walk already this morning. Thank you, Lord, for staving off the rain until we were home. I love Washington.